ANC of orchestrating violent protests as a means to gain the upper hand ahead of the May elections. Pockets of service delivery protests have erupted across the country in recent days.
As election campaigning reaches its peak, political parties have continued to roll out their strategies to woo voters. But the DA alleges a sinister campaign approach by the governing party.
The protests that are emerging across Tshwane and in other parts of Johannesburg and in parts of Orange Grove today, you can see that the ANC is starting to panic, and the only thing that they know how to do is not to campaign on the basis of ideas and a better future. They bring violence and intimidation.
There was no alternative offer that they were presenting to the electorate, so they are piggybacking on legitimate concerns of residents, turning that into violent mobilization to target, people who aren't entirely responsible for what happened. We are dealing with a history of poor governance, of a history of lack of service delivery by the very same central figures that are leading these protests.
The Blue Party says its allegations are evidence-based and is approaching law enforcement authorities with proof.
Today, both the premier candidates of the Western Cape and the provincial leader of the DA in Gauteng, John Moody and Alan Winde, will be seeking urgent meetings with the provincial police commissioners in both the Western Cape and Gauteng. In addition, DA leader Mmusi Maimane will be writing to the National Police Commissioner requesting urgent intervention and a strategy to deal with the increasing national unrest as we go closer to election.
Although it has refused to share its research, the DA says its internal polls indicate it will retain the Western Cape and snatch Gauteng.
In Gauteng, all trends show that the ANC has never been weaker. As of last night, our internal research shows significant weakness of the ANC, which could mean a real victory for the DA in the province in the next 4 weeks. Change is coming to Gauteng. In the Northern Cape, our campaign has never been stronger.
Despite analysts predicting split election results for Gauteng, the DA says coalition talks are not part of its current focus.
A recent survey by the Center for Social Development Africa has found that the voter preference for the DA has declined. However, the party has poured cold water in this, calling it methodologically wrong. While the DA has its own polling, the results for the May 8th elections will be the final arbiter. Itakana Magwedza, SABC News, Johannesburg.